bottom third, and the Cardinals lead the Cubs 2-0. Opening night baseball here on ESPN. Dan Shulman, Curt Schilling, John Kruk, Buster Olney, and pleased to be joined by the manager of the Chicago Cubs live from the dugout, Joe Maddon, as LaStella takes down an in-ball 2. Joe, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. What are your thoughts on Lester so far?
Well, it's not as sharp as he can be, obviously, but John is quite a professional. The velocity was really high early, dropped back a little bit. I don't think he has his cutter down at this particular moment, but nevertheless battles through it.
Joe, you talked in our meeting with you about Jorge Soler about the plate discipline, the power, but pretty impressive at bat, his first at bat against Adam Wainwright, to get Dexter Fowler to third base with less than 2 outs, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had him on his own there for the first 2 strikes. I actually had him on his own the whole at bat, just go ahead and drive him in, but you saw in his first pitch, he tried to hit the ball to the right side, foul ball, then eventually did move him. I have a lot of confidence in this guy. He's a different cat for a young guy. He knows what he's doing at the plate.
Joe, you've been around the game a long time and, of course, managed in Tampa Bay for a long time. But any butterflies today? Anything a little bit different than normal?
Honestly, I felt pretty darn good. I don't know why. I think that everything's happening so quickly. I had so much going on in the off season. My wife Jay's in town right now, and a bunch of family members. I came out. I felt pretty good. Honestly.
How optimistic are you about having a good, solid season, significant improvement for this team from a year ago?
I'm really optimistic, man. It's a great group of guys. It's a wonderful mixture of youth along with veterans. The veterans really mix well. These are the kind of guys. You see David Ross. How about the trip he made the last inning for Lester right there? I thought that was a great trip. We got a lot of young, skillful talent, and then with that, you have this nice veteran mix that's going to be able to balance the whole thing out.
Joe, we appreciate the time. Have a good season. We'll talk to you again.
My pleasure, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Joe Maddon, the new manager of the Chicago Cubs. As Tommy LaStella sends a sinking liner into center field. A base hit, and for the 3rd inning in a row, the Cubs have the leadoff man aboard. Follow your favorite team and players all season with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. Pitch, hit, and run, presented by Scott's, is the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. It's free for boys and girls ages 7 to 14. Play your way to the national finals and have the chance to compete during All-Star Week in Cincinnati. Find a local competition in your area at pitchhitrun.com.
There's a lot.
You got that next week, big boy.
Seamless lead. No. Too early in the season.
Our viewers recall fondly you reading promos and some of the business last year.
Viewers were shocked I could read.
There's Dexter Fowler.
And I think fondly's a little bit strong.
Here's the, we talked about the lineup with Joe Maddon, with having John Lester hitting 8th. Like Curt said, if they would have walked him if Tommy LaStella was probably hitting 8th to get to Lester hitting 9th, but now you got the second leadoff hitter on base with the leadoff hitter who doubled his first at bat. So now our Cubs are looking good here. One had been on base for this mammoth man. I mean, he's a huge human being.
Schill and I walked by him. It was the day of your shoulder surgery, so you weren't able to join us down in Mesa. Schill and I walked by him in the tunnel on the way from the field back into the clubhouse.
I just remember laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap. Is he going to the combine from here or what?
Check swing, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fowler. Buster talked about Addison Russell. We've mentioned Chris Bryant. Javier Baez has been sent down. Big swing, a ton of strikeouts. A lot of other things that the Cubs love about him, but right now he's at AAA. And on and on. Kyle Schwarber, a catcher who they're very high on. Now, when do they all get here? When are they all ready to really contribute at the major league level remains to be seen. Joe Maddon's very optimistic. If I said to you guys, give me the number of wins the Cubs are going to have this year, what would you say?
I mean, if they play, I think with the division, how strong the division is, 500.
Yeah.
Would be a big number for them.
81-ish.
LaStella the lead, nobody out, full count, and a throw to drive him back. So you guys both feel heading in the right direction, but not ready to be a playoff team yet.
I wouldn't be stunned if they won 90, but I think a lot of things would have to break perfectly right, and there might be a deadline deal involved in them doing that. But next year, I think they're, I think they're poised.
I think LaStella's running right here, 3-2.
Got a good jump. Swinging a high fly ball to shallow right field. He finds it. LaStella on his way back as Hayward makes the catch, 1 down. Well, you may not be able to sit in the bleachers, but you can still sit in the rooftops across the street. Although one of the ongoing issues, as people in Chicago are intimately aware of, is that huge video scoreboard in left field. Another one, not as big, is going up in right field. There's a Budweiser sign that's going to be, I believe, a little bit elevated and shifted from where it is right now that will somewhat block the view of some of the rooftops. There have been all kinds of legal proceedings back and forth between the rooftop owners and the Cubs. LaStella running, swing and a miss, throw down, tagged by Wong, not in time. LaStella with a stolen base. But the Cubs are saying we've got to modernize Wrigley Field and we've got to create more revenue streams, like a giant Budweiser sign, that they plan on turning into payroll, bringing in talent, that sort of thing. And it's a real, it's been a fight here in Chicago between the history of the ballpark and the tradition of the ballpark, and the Cubs need to modernize things here.
You saw what happened at Fenway. The revenue just came pouring in after that they did their renovations. The thing that really kind of boggles my mind here is how much tearing up they've done, but how good it looks anyway. I mean, this looks fantastic.
Again, no bleachers right now. You can see there are no seats out there. There's a tribute to Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub, Hall of Famer. There you can see images of Ernie Banks as we go over towards left center field. They're covering up where the bleachers were and again will be with images of Ernie Banks, but they're digging stuff up. New players parking lot. They're going to go to work on a new home clubhouse that'll be ready for next year. And again, the left field bleachers are supposed to be ready by the middle of May. The right field bleachers are supposed to be ready by the middle of June. So they're down about 5,000 seats a game right now. Curveball outside.
I'm not gonna lie, Kruk, I'm thinking about you sitting over on one of them rooftops having a couple beers and then just walking downstairs and going to bed after the game.
Or pinch hitting.
There you go.
Didn't Tom Browning go out in the bleachers?
Yep.
When, my buddy.
Bounced foul.
I'm afraid of heights, though, and this is high enough for me right here in the booth, but I couldn't that far away.
Well, here's what it looks like. This is activity from yesterday outside the ballpark. And we were visiting with Theo Epstein, the president of the Cubs, before the game, and he said, like, as soon as this game is over, they're going to have guys back out here going to work. They want to get this stuff done as soon as they can. Get the bleacher bums back in the ballpark.
And you walk around the concourse, it's neat. You see future sight of an elevator, future sight of the bathroom.
Got to clean up some of the debris that kind of filters into the ballpark during the day.
It's like a big magnet or something.
Soler chases. And Wainwright gets him for the second out. This has almost been the same thing inning after inning after inning here for the Cubs. Get a runner in scoring position and unable to do anything with it.
Well, 2 pitches before, he got a pitch probably about 6 inches, 3 or 4 inches off the plate. Then he got called for strike 2, so he had to expand the strike zone. Did Soler, give Wainwright and Yadier Molina credit. They still kept it out there and a little bit further to kind of tease the young man.
Yeah. Well, Mike Winter's strike zone seems like it's just huge tonight, but it's consistently huge.
So you're happy.
Well, you take
pitchers
advantage.
happy.
Here's the thing: if it's going to be strike 1, I want it to be strike 3. That's what hitters and pitchers want. They want consistency. As a pitcher, I'd love to have a ball called a strike, but I don't expect it to be. On a night like tonight, when the umpire's expanded, if you have command, you can get people out without throwing strikes.
Good curveball, 1-1. Leadoff double in the first by Fowler. He was stranded at third. Leadoff double in the second by Coughlin. he was stranded at third. Leadoff single by LaStella here in the third. He is stolen second, but there are now 2 outs. Just outside.
What's surprising is the pitch counts. You've got a guy calling a ton of strikes back there, and these guys are combined for over 100 pitches in what would amount to 6 innings of offense.
And now Molina to the mound.
This is one of those things they're going to talk about. Okay, we're behind in the count right now to Rizzo, the big power threat. Do we want to go after him, or do we want to see if he'll chase? What do you feel comfortable throwing? Because we have Starlin Castro on deck, who's a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, that entire conversation is about the guy on deck. What do you want to do here? You want to, and I'm going to guess, knowing Adam Wainwright, that entire conversation was about getting this guy out.
He struck out Rizzo looking back in the first. Now even at 3-1, the same mindset, or now
well, that pitch right there tells you what the conversation was about, which was, hey, we can make this guy chase. If he doesn't chase and goes to first, I'm fine with Castro.
Busy inning for Wainwright. This is the 25th pitch of the inning, and he throws him a 3-1 curveball for a strike.
Yep.
And here's the thing. Now, if you're Anthony Rizzo, now it could be any pitch.
Yep.
This ain't like I could set on something. He throws a 3-1 breaking ball, and it was a good one too. It wasn't like a get me over nothing pitch.
This is where a veteran pitcher throws a fastball and freezes a young hitter. Oh.
From a curveball that Rizzo swings over the top of. And the Cubs leave another man on in scoring position. Early frustration for the home team.
Only one place takes you inside golf's most prestigious event. The Masters Mosaic from DirecTV. Watch 6 screens of enhanced coverage on one channel, including 2 featured groups and every swing at Amen Corner, all in crystal clear HD. Plus our interactive leaderboard, expanded player stats, and more. The only place to experience a major like this is DirecTV. The Masters Mosaic begins April 9th, starting at channel 701.
After I played FanDuel the first time, I was hooked.
These one-day fantasy baseball leagues at FanDuel.com are the hottest thing in fantasy baseball.
With FanDuel, there's no season-long commitment.
FanDuel lets you play in one-day fantasy baseball leagues for real money.
Assembling the ideal team on FanDuel was a blast.
Try FanDuel today, and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200.
On FanDuel, I've won over $62,000.
Go to FanDuel.com, click on the microphone to get a bonus of up to $200. Enter promo code RBI6. That's promo code RBI6.
Excellent. Looking below the surface, researching a hunch, and making a decision. You are type E. Time for a change of menu.
Research and invest from any website with E-Trade's browser trading. E-Trade. Opportunity is everywhere.
Welcome back to opening night here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. And the Cardinals with a 2-0 lead as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Let's take a look now at tonight's pitching summary brought to you by Carhartt. Got a couple of aces on the mound, and John Lester and Adam Wainwright. And so far, Wainwright has been much sharper. The Cardinals have gotten to Lester, and they've also executed better when they've had opportunities. The Cubs have had some chances, but Wainwright's gotten out of a jam all 3 innings.
Yeah, that's the thing with Adam Wainwright. When he needed to make pitches to get out of innings, he made them. And so far, John Lester, in the innings that the Cardinals have scored on, he made the mistake to Matt Carpenter up in the strike zone with the first pitch.
It's a tough game to pitch to begin with, but when the leadoff hitter gets on, it just becomes harder because every pitch becomes a high leverage situation when you're facing the other team's ace.
Way outside to Molina.
That might have been his first changeup of the night right there.
Wasn't very good one.
No, he doesn't throw it a lot.
You wonder why.
Yeah.
Fastball down and in for ball 3 to Molina, who in part because he was hampered by injuries last year, specifically a thumb injury, hit only 7 homers, drove in 38. His previous 3 years he had averaged much bigger numbers than that. 16 home runs, 74 RBIs. And boy, wouldn't the Cardinals love a return to that kind of form or their all-world catcher.
So Mike Matheny turned him loose 3-0.
Yeah. He knew as soon as he let go of that ball, it was ball 4.
Leadoff man aboard for the Cardinals, and here's Kolten Wong, who walked and scored his first time up.
And you know when you let go of this ball, it's a ball. It's just that you don't get finish. And he says shucks or something to that effect.
What's it like when you go to a new team? Shaw just flat out ask you, whether you're traded or signed, big contract, big reputation, big hopes in the city. What's it like when you make that first appearance for a new team?
It's scary fun in the sense that you want to win the respect of the 24 guys in the clubhouse, because more times than not you've competed against them. So you want them to value the fact that you're now on their team, and I always enjoyed it, and I'm sure John was looking forward to this. And like I said, I think his spring training is the biggest reason why we're kind of seeing what we're seeing tonight, or lack of spring training, I guess.
So it just may take him a little bit longer to get sharp.
I think he's still kind of in a spring training pitch count mode from a work perspective.
He tried to get him in during warm-ups.
Yeah, I said that, and we were talking about that. He was ready before. Yeah, he only threw 8 1/3 innings, and that to me is not as big of a deal because you can throw a lot of minor league games. He didn't do that. He threw like sim games where they simulated the game, and that's adrenaline-wise.
Well, you were stunned when you looked down here.
Well,
it was 30 minutes before first pitch, and he was throwing hard.
30 minutes before the first pitch, which is insanely long. That's not his normal routine. He was at full speed, and he did that for another 10 or 12 minutes. And given his workload in spring training, I had to wonder. I know it's adrenaline.
He was actually heated up and ready to go before Wainwright threw his first pitch. We were watching Wainwright. He's down there stretching. Lester's throwing 95.
Yeah, he was.
How does that work?
And I've said that's one of those. Hey, I got to do something, or I'm going to go nuts. And then he went down. And opening day is the one day of the season you're literally ready to go, like 6 pitches in. You're like, okay, I'm good.
Wong with a weak ground ball to second to the bag 1, and that's all they'll get as they force Molina.
This replay is brought to you by Barefoot Wine, proud partner.
Have you ever thrown so much before a game that when you started the game you knew you threw too much before the game?
I threw so much before a game I got hurt. The 99 All-Star game, when they did the ceremony on the field, Pedro and I both did the same thing. I started throwing and they pushed the start of the game back. I threw for 45 minutes and then made a couple starts and I was done for the year.
You couldn't have thought maybe I should sit down here for a while?
Oh, no, I was too fired up.
That's why we hated them.
That's one of the reasons.
They're just not smart.
Wong with a big lead.
But yeah,
I can honestly say I never went out and took like 2,000 swings of BP before a game.
You never overdid it in warm-up, is what
No, I never overdid it.
We would guess that.
That's where I would go. But see, he's right. Hitters aren't that or pitchers aren't that smart, but hitters are by far the dumbest people in the ballpark.
Runner goes. Wong steals it easily. Throw bounces into center. Wong to third.
If he makes a good throw right there, is he out? I think he's out.
David Ross came up throwing right there. He had great quick release. But Kolten Wong had a great jump, went on first move with John Lester. You know that if he's not going to throw over, why not go as soon as he moves? And you see the move right there. Kolten Wong got the good jump. But
yeah, he's out.
Yeah, if he makes a all the way in the air throw and doesn't skip past Starlin Castro, then yeah, you might have an out there.
So the infield has to come in again. Runner at third, 1 out. Cubs already trailing 2-0 as the Cardinals bat in the top of the 4th. Jay last year, you mentioned a Krucky after he had the hit in the 2nd inning. He did a great job against left-handed pitching last year. He hit .375. He went 33 for 88 against lefties last year.
Yeah, and you know, John Jay had that big hitch in his swing, and he got tied up inside. He got beat inside. But this swing here, it's a little more compact. He just rests it on his shoulder, brings his hands up, and tries to hit everything the other way. That right there, he tried to pull one because it was a breaking ball, and he was fooled on it. But you know, when you watch him in the postseason, how many times he just hit a grounder between short and third, or a line drive over the shortstop's head? And that's the way John Jay has to hit. He's not going to be a 20-homer guy. He's not going to be that type of hitter. So he's finally figured out, you know what, base hits will keep you in the big leagues and starting for a long time.
Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lester looks like he didn't like that call. And again, it has been a wide strike zone tonight, so maybe he's thinking he didn't get a call that he got earlier in the game. And the pitch count is climbing for a guy who I think everybody would be surprised if he even got to 100 tonight, given how little he pitched in the spring.
I don't see that.
Now he gets him, and now Jay's unhappy.
Yeah, this is a night when you don't have to throw strikes to get out. You have to make big league hitters chase out of the strike zone, but generally you have to throw strikes to get there. They're getting ball. Great pitch. It never ever crosses the plate. The beauty of a front door or back door slider is the only time it actually is on the plate is when in the catcher's glove. It goes around. It literally goes around the side of the plate, and is never a strike.
Here's Wainwright.
Frustrating as a hitter, though.
I saw the first guy I ever saw do that was Maddon. He started throwing that front door cutter into righties, and
bouncer to third. Holt with plenty of time, and the inning is over. To the bottom of the 4th here at Wrigley. Cubs coming up, trailing 2-0.
Oh man, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
Oh, man. You got to do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim.
Amateurs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, Travis.
Well, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm here for you, Lonnie.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is a new one.
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
No matter how long you dig
or how hard you work, Wrangler Comfort never lets you down.
Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans are built with a U shape. They don't cut into you like jeans with a V pattern.
Wrangler.
Real comfortable jeans.
Schick Extreme 3. 3 flexible blades that adapt to any contour for extreme comfort. Schick Extreme 3. Try Extreme 3 Ultimate. More glide, better comfort for your skin.
In small business, you have to work hard, know your numbers, and stay focused.
I was determined to create New York City's first self-serve frozen yogurt franchise.
And now you have 42 locations.
The more I put into my business, the more I get out of it.
Like 5 times your rewards when you make select business purchases with your Ink Plus card from Chase.
And with Ink, I choose how to redeem my points for things like cash or travel. How's the froyo?
Just peachy. Literally.
Ink from Chase, so you can.
For fans of one last run to get the one spot left. For fans of the playoff push, this is your game. Celtics Pistons at 7, Suns Mavericks at 9:30, Wednesday on ESPN.
Welcome back to opening night baseball on ESPN, presented by Scott's. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Cardinals lead the Cubs 2-0 between innings. Our Buster Olney with Mike Matheny.
Mike, one of the big questions about your team coming into the year is the offense. 3rd in runs in 2013, tied for 23rd last year. What have you seen in your best tonight?
I think guys have to realize that what they did a couple years ago, that's still the same hitters that they are. And you know, it's going to come around, and they just have to stick with the same process and trust the fact that they've got the right approach and that the swing's going to come together. Right now they've got a nice aggressive approach, and hopefully we can do a little better job of getting those runs in from 3rd.
Adam Wainwright, 56 pitches. How much longer can you go with him?
as long as he looks good. So he's starting to get his curveball going here. He's starting to throw it for strikes last half, and I think that's going to be very important for them to start chasing it out of the zone. But right now, everything looks pretty good.
Mike, thanks.
And he's right about that. Everything has looked pretty good for Adam Wainwright. He's made some big pitches with the men on base to keep the Cubs from scoring. Starlin Castro leads off the bottom of the fourth. First pitch swinging, ground ball to short. And Peralta up with a on to first, one down. No pitcher in baseball has thrown more innings the last 3 years. This includes the postseason. No pitcher in baseball has thrown more innings than Adam Wainwright.
If you're a number one, that's your favorite stat anyway, because that's what your one does. Your one pitches and eats up innings.
Well, and you have to remember too that his team has been to the National League Championship Series the last 3 or 4 years. So, that adds a lot of extra throws on that arm.
Do you believe, Schill, that after a deep playoff run, say for a guy like Bumgarner this year, coming into the season, after an unbelievable October when you pitch multiple rounds, does that affect you in the next April?
It depends on the pitcher. I don't know. I mean, I had it happen once, and I had other postseasons where everything was fine. I think a lot of it depends on the pitcher and the program that you get into in the offseason.
And it kind of sounds like the Cardinals and Wainwright, they didn't go at it crazy hard in the spring. These guys been around the block many times and maybe back off a little
At this point in his career, if you trust him, which clearly they do, you let him tell you what he needs to get ready for the season, because he knows. And I always had a set number of innings. If I get those innings, I don't care where they are, I'll be ready to go.
This is a guy who, even as a young pitcher, always seemed to have a really good sense of what he needed to do to be successful. 2 down in a hurry here in the bottom of the fourth. 5 in a row set down by Wainwright, and here's Mike Old, who struck out his first time up. We've talked a ton. Everybody's talked a ton about Kris Bryant. This is the guy who, in all likelihood, in a couple of weeks, will lose his job to Kris Bryant if Bryant comes up and plays third base. And now Old hit a .160 last year, struck out a lot, spent some time in the minors. But how'd you like to be the guy where everybody's talking about this other guy and saying, we want him, get him here now?
It's either Mike Old or Chris Coughlin. I mean, Bryant plays some left field and can prove he can play out there. Who knows? But this is a 2-week audition for these guys, for these 2 guys. And one's a veteran guy who's been around a while in Coughlin, and the other one's a younger player in Mike Old who's trying to figure his way at the big league level. And, you got 2 weeks now to show us, and you've been around long enough. And if you can't do it, then we'll get someone else in here who can.
Bryant has said he'll play whatever position they want him to play. Bryant has also said that he was disappointed that he wasn't part of the team at the beginning of the year. Theo Epstein, the president of the Cubs, says that he has never, going back to his days in Boston, had a rookie, other than say a Japanese player who came over from playing professionally there, start the year in the big leagues. And I don't know if it's accurate, Schill, to say there's bad blood, but Scott Boras, who's the agent of Kris Bryant, he spoke out forcefully saying this is what the Cubs should have done. Theo Epstein responded and said this is what we're doing and this is why. And Kris Bryant wasn't really shy in his comments. He was disappointed he's not here.
Well, I think that's what you want. You certainly want him to want to be here. I think he expected his performance, like he said, to matter more, but
he'll be here eventually. You know that. And eventually may not be very long. Old grounds out. Wainwright has set down 6 in a row. 2-0 Cardinals at the end of 4.
Jeff.
Hey, Scott.
This is no time for lollygagging, lad.
But we love lollygagging.
We do. There is a battlefield out there. The chickweed is surrounding your sidewalk, and the dandelions are stealing precious nutrients. Now's the time to send in the Scots Turf Builder Weed and Feed Man. It kills weeds while it feeds and strengthens your grass.
That sounds easy.
Get Scots Turf Builder Weed and Feed. It's guaranteed. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
Visit scotts.com/GoYard for the chance to win a trip to this year's MLB World Series.
The switch to T-Mobile is on. Even Verizon customers are seeing the light. T-Mobile has America's fastest 4G LTE network. From the Bay Area to the Big Apple. And more data capacity per customer. Need one more reason? We'll even buy out your contract. Ready, set, switch to the Data Strong network.
Firestone Transforce tires. Built to handle whatever the job demands. Durable, dependable Firestone tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Thank you. There's no Cinderellas in baseball.
And that's beautiful right there.
Who you are and what you are will show itself sooner or later. These guys put themselves out on the stage every night to be
here we go
made fun of on some TV show if they have a miscue, have adulation if they do something well, but that's what separates them. These are the best 750 players in the world that the world has to offer. The game's being played better than it ever has in the history of it.
Pretty good, man. Run the bases.
These are the good old days. They are.
Welcome back to Wrigley. Opening night of the 2015 season here on ESPN. The Cardinals lead the Cubs 2-0 as they come up at the top of the 5th inning. Matt Carpenter shows bunt. He takes down and away ball 1. Carpenter has grounded out and also driven in a run with a base hit. The other run scoring in the 1st inning for the Cardinals tonight on an RBI single by Matt Holliday. So right now the way the lineup looks for the Cardinals, and things could change, but is Carpenter in his customary leadoff spot, and then Jason Hayward on deck. And Jason Hayward's a guy over the years, guys, there's been a lot of discussion. Is he a leadoff hitter? Is he a 2-hitter? Is he a 5-hitter? What kind of hitter exactly is Jason Hayward? Kruk, what do you think the Cardinals are looking for from Hayward?
Well, they're looking for more run production. They're looking for more productive at bats, and you know, the thing you have to look at, he's 6'5", so batting leadoff, you wouldn't think that would be the suitable place for him. But hitting second behind Carpenter, he's going to have RBI chances. Carpenter does hit a lot of doubles, and Hayward's going to have a lot of chances of driving him in, you know, early in games if Carpenter can get on base. But you know, I think Hayward, eventually you'd love to see him use his height and leverage and be a middle of the lineup guy that drives in runs.
So 27 homers in 2012, 14 in 2013, although he missed a fair chunk of time with injuries that year. Just 11 home runs in basically a full season last year. Base hit through the right side for Carpenter. He's 2 for 3.
Well, some of the changes that Jason Hayward has made, and talking to Mike Matheny, he did these on his own. Now, here's last year in Atlanta. What they wanted was him to stand taller, hands closer to his body. See how his hands when he was in Atlanta were away from his body? Stand closer to home plate. He's so far away, and with being that far away, he has to kind of dive. So he has to stride more towards the pitcher. But in Atlanta, he dove toward home plate. Now look at how everything plays out, and that's a lockup. Look at his hips, never cleared. It's a lockup swing. He couldn't get the fastballs inside. But when you watch him tonight against John Lester, his approach at the plate has changed. See, he's more upright. His hands are closer to his body. He strides more toward the pitcher with a shorter stride. And these are just adjustments that he knew he had to make if he wanted to be an effective hitter in the big leagues. And so far, he's hitting he hit the first ball hard, and he got the double in between Castro and Coghlan there in his second at bat, but 2 doubles to start his career with the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's the first at bat right here. You see how the hands are closer to the body, and that's something that keeps your hands inside the ball, keeps the barrel in the strike zone a little bit longer. And there you see, you know, the short stride toward John Lester. He's not crouched as much, so he's more upright. The head stays more still, and when you can do all that, you have a good chance, as far, you know, good an athlete as he is, to have a lot of success.
Down the left field line and back out of play. With his defense and pretty good speed, he can be an awfully good player even if he doesn't have a great offensive season. But if these corrections work, if these adjustments work, he can be a real find for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the Cardinals would love to him to get back to that 25, you know, between 25, 30 homers like he has done in the past. And if he can, and you know, with what's around him, with Matt Holliday behind him, and Matt Adams and Johnny Peralta, at batting second, he's going to get a lot of chances.
Throw down to second by Ross, but Carpenter had put the brakes on. That's not one you see every day.
Well, I think what you're looking at when you watch John come set from the stretch, his feet are so close together, they're going first move, and they're being able to read far enough ahead to know whether to stop or not.
Oh, and also David Ross trying to look around the 6'5" Jason Hayward. It's not like he could see Matt Carpenter there.
And guys, the bullpen is now up for the Cubs. The former Tiger left-hander Phil Koch is up. He signed into spring training already when he signed with the Cubs. And as Joe Maddon said to us before the game, well, he's definitely a left-hander, and he wasn't talking about the stuff or the arm that he throws with. He was talking about there's a perception that lefties are a little bit different.
Oh, it's not a perception.
That's
fact.
Boy, Carpenter's dancing around out there at first base with a huge lead.
Going on a 3-2, and Hayward shoots it the other way into left field. Around to third comes Carpenter, and Jason Hayward is 3 for 3.
Yeah, I really think that the runners are interfering somehow. I think with John and his delivery, when you look at him come set, he's trying to mix up his feet. His feet at some point are closer together, at some point they're farther together. But either way, everybody's going first move, which you have to do against a lefty anyway. But they're all getting very, very good jumps.
And Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, on his way to the mound.
Well, here's a situation too. First and third, no outs. You got your top RBI guy up in Matt Holliday, but Jason Hayward has speed. It can steal a base. I think you got to send him. Even though Peralta struck out twice already, I don't think you just stand pat. You don't want to give up a double play to get a run if you're the Cardinals right here. Let's try to put up a crooked number and see if Hayward can get in scoring position. I mean, you watch Matt Carpenter. I mean, he was bouncing off. I mean, it was almost like daring John Lester to throw over, and John just wouldn't do it.
As we mentioned a little bit earlier, Lester has not thrown to first in a game since April of 2013.
Hayward's got a huge lead. I mean, this is...
Little flare into shallow right field, dropping for a base hit. The throw to second is dropped on the short hop by Castro. In to score Carpenter. 3-0 Cardinals as the Cubs' miscues continue.
Jorge Soler's had some problems with trying to get the ball out of his glove, and right there you see it. He hesitated. I don't know what the hesitation is. He wasn't going to get Matt Carpenter at home. The only chance you had was getting the force of Jason Hayward at second base. But watch Soler come up with this ball, and he holds it, and he's looking at home, and then all of a sudden, oh, I forgot there's someone on second. Let me throw it there, and he short up Starlin Castro, and give Castro a lot of credit for keeping that ball in front of him.
That's a double. That's an out. Force out. Yeah. But I mean, you heard Joe talk about it multiple times. This is what's going to happen with a young team.
It's going from bad to worse. Double steal.
Now, when you know a pitcher's not going to throw to bases, there's nothing to stop you. There's nothing to keep you at the base you're at.
Infield's got to come in again. High fly ball, but very shallow center field. Really a glorified pop-up that is caught by LaStella out in shallow center as he collided to a certain extent with Castro, but made the catch and the runners hold.
There's a ball that Starlin Castro, the one in left field between he and Coughlin, he kind of hesitated in that one there. Both of them going at it hard. You wonder if there's any communication going on between the outfielders and the infielders of the Chicago Cubs right now.
And that out is going to be the end of the line for John Lester. In his Cubs debut, he will go just 4 1/3. frustrating night for him on a number of levels. As Lester is done, Phil Koch will come into the game. 3-0 Cardinals, and they're looking for more here in the 5th inning on opening night at Wrigley.
Get low when the whistle go.
Life could use a little more unexpected. Introducing the Chick Star from Taco Bell. Crispy chicken breaded in tortilla chips wrapped up with a mango barbecue sauce. It's a completely unexpected take on the chicken sandwich.
Putting your finances in order. It's one of the best ways to start planning for retirement. At Voya, we can help you organize your savings and investments. So when the time comes, you'll have that orange money set aside for all the things you want to do. Like taking that road trip, volunteering, or simply spoiling your grandkids. Isn't that what it's all about? Start today, be ready tomorrow. Get organized at Voya.com.
Hey, what is this? What's going on?
Hell? Where have you been?
I was inside.
Yeah?
So long. There was nothing. No yard, no grill. It was just white and cold.
It was winter, buddy. Just winter.
Huh.
Somebody get this man a burger!
Winter's over, and new and improved Kingsford charcoal is now better than ever.
The regular season gets going in earnest tomorrow, and you can see 4 of those games on the ESPN family of networks. Masahiro Tanaka on the mound for the Yankees as they open up with Toronto. It'll be Max Scherzer making his Nationals debut as they host the Mets. The Indians are in Houston, and then Madison Bumgarner on the mound as the Giants take on the Diamondbacks. A frustrating night to be sure for John Lester. 4 1/3, 8 hits, 3 runs. The 2 men on his responsibility, 89 pitches. And now Phil Koch, the former Tiger, spent the last 5 years with Detroit, signed a minor league contract with the Cubs on March the 7th, and was added to the 40-man roster at the end of March. And he will face Matt Adams with runners at second and third, 1 out. And for Koch, this could be a quick appearance. Former Cardinal Jason Mott is up in the bullpen for the Cubs.
Really? So we just kind of swapped. I didn't know.
Like that. Jason Mott probably going to face the guy that caught him all these years. Yadier Molina up next. That'll be interesting.
Three pitches, and he strikes him out. A lot of left-handed batters in this Cardinal lineup, but Phil Koch's the only lefty that Joe Maddon's got in the bullpen. And he will leave him, it appears, to face Molina. Yeah, 2 lefties after him, Wong and Jay.
They were going to walk him too to get to Colton Wong.
So they will put Molina on. Colton Wong, a left-handed batter, will face Koch. And ball 4. This is the kind of situation a young hitter like Colton Wong could face many times during the season.
Yes, very well can be, because if he's going to hit the middle to late in the lineup, but especially with a guy like Yadier Molina, who's a pretty good contact guy in front of you, and especially with lefties in the bullpen ready to go, or a lefty starter, Colton Wong's going to get a lot of chances.
Seems like the Cardinals have had men in scoring position all night long. This is their 13th plate appearance already with at least one runner in scoring position. How about that? What do you think, Frankie?
Shocking. I'm sure that's what Matheny wasn't looking for. The bases loaded. Let's try to put this game out of reach, and you don't do it with a bunt. But again, maybe this is a tough lefty for Phil Koch's a tough lefty on their left-handed hitter, so they're thinking, oh, let's bunt some.
0-2.
Well, it did move Mike Holt and Anthony Rizzo up a little bit, but now, of course, 0-2. They don't have to worry about the bunt.
Big situation here for Koch in his Cubs debut, trying to keep his team close. Base hit could break it open. Breaking ball down and away. Just a setup pitch, Schill, to get back to the fastball.
I was expecting another high fastball there. See, he swung through it quite a few times tonight. That fastball just above his happy spot.
One ball, two strikes, the count on Wong. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And the pitch swung on and missed. The inning is over. He's fired up. A great outing in his Cubs debut. 3-0 Cardinals.
Only one place takes you inside golf's most prestigious event. The Masters Mosaic from DirecTV. Watch 6 screens of enhanced coverage on one channel, including 2 featured groups and every swing at Amen Corner, all in crystal clear HD. Plus our interactive leaderboard, expanded player stats, and more. The only place to experience a major like this is DirecTV. The Masters Mosaic begins April 9th, starting at channel 701.
After I played FanDuel the first time, I was hooked.
These one-day fantasy baseball leagues at FanDuel.com are the hottest thing in fantasy baseball.
With FanDuel, there's no season-long commitment.
FanDuel lets you play in one-day fantasy baseball leagues for real money.
Assembling the ideal team on FanDuel was a blast.
Try FanDuel today, and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200.
On FanDuel, I've won over $62,000.
Go to FanDuel.com now and click on the microphone to get up to $200 free. Enter promo code BAG1. That's promo code BAG1.
4.6. Baseball is the cure for the common cold. Opening day all day tomorrow starting at 1. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is everywhere.
When Penn & Teller brought comedy to magic, they created a whole new kind of performance. The Mazda CX-5 brings a newly refined interior and sophisticated technology, together with the performance and efficiency you'd never expect in a CUV. The Mazda CX-5.
Welcome back to opening night baseball on ESPN, presented by Scott's. And welcome back to Wrigley Field. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, Curt Schilling, Buster Olney. First game of the season, 4 games on the ESPN family of networks tomorrow, beginning with the Blue Jays and the Yankees at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Here the Cardinals have a 3-0 lead on the Cubs as the Cubs bat at the bottom of the 5th against Adam Wainwright. Through 4 innings, 3 hits, all of them hits to open up an inning. 2 of them doubles, 1 of them single, but he has made
debunking the myth, isn't he? You got to get the leadoff hitter out in order to have success.
The way that actually translates is those 66 pitches are a lot higher leverage pitches than they would be otherwise if those guys are getting on with 1 or 2 outs.
David Ross leading it off.
Got a full day of baseball tomorrow, Danny boy.
You're going to Washington.
Going to Washington. Me and Schill on the Big Bird tomorrow, going to Washington.
How's that wake-up call looking?
Really good. And then Thursday and Friday, baby, the Masters. Wow. We dialed into that.
Masters first 2 rounds on ESPN. Does that mean, are you part of the conference call Thursday? You joining us, or are you out of commission?
It's going to be tough.
I'm just going to feed my chickens.
Have to multitask.
Perhaps not your greatest strength.
No, it's just terrible.
How are you coping, by the way? I mean, people see this, the get up here. You had shoulder surgery. How you doing? Too much golf, you said, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Shocker.
No.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Golf.
Well, you're doing a great job. Did you see the picture that you texted that we ran during the game in spring training?
Well,
that's a beauty. That picture's a beauty, by the way.
But let me tell you something. I just got out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was obvious.
And I was still under
heavily medicated.
It was obvious. That was
and David Ross just hit another hard ball down the left field line.
Scorches one into the corner. Leadoff double. Now pinch hitter coming up for the Cubs, another newcomer, formerly with Arizona, Miguel Montero, is going to bat in the pitcher spot, in Kruk's spot. The Cubs are carrying 3 catchers right now. Joe Maddon likes to use his bench, likes to pinch it, especially moving over to the National League. Don't know if this is a permanent situation or if Wellington Castillo will be moved at some point, but right now with 3 catchers, in some ways it gives Joe Maddon less flexibility, in some ways it gives him more.
Well, he talked about hitting his pitcher 8th so he could get to him quicker once this pitcher came out of the game, and it actually fell right into his lap right here.
Lester 4 1/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned in his Cubs debut.
Feingold's gonna have to.
Mott's up again. Neil Ramirez joins him.
2 righties up. That's interesting, isn't it?
I think.
Okay, if we tie it, this guy's coming in. If we don't,
thing, yeah. And one of them might be better at getting lefties out.
Liner to short, runner back. Ross almost overshot the runway right there by not going into a slide at second base.
Yeah, nothing wrong with sliding. I mean, that washed your uni.
Well, a lot of inertia going back to the back right there.
A what?
A lot of inertia.
Yeah.
You need me to spell that, or?
Whatever it is, it's good base running.
Yeah.
This wasn't too pretty at the end here. Look at that. Yeah.
A lot of inertia.
Yeah. That's good strength in that left quad, though, to put the brakes on.
Yeah, he'll get ice on that one after it's over.
Here's LaStella.
Adam looks sharp.
How about this? 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
I attribute that as much to Adam as anything.
Three runs, 8 hits for the Cardinals. No runs on 4 hits. 3 of them doubles for the Cubs. First game of 3, day off tomorrow. And then 2 more coming on Tuesday and Wednesday. 3-0 to Tommy LaStella. Taking all the way, 3-1.
Well, 86 mile an hour, 3-0. See how far you can hit it into this wind. Get me over fastball. Now let's see what he can. Maybe he can hit a corner.
Hit a corner, 3-2.
This has been a fascinating bat for me to watch. 2-0 pitch. He threw cutter inside for a ball. And he went to 2-0 and overthrew a cutter for what it felt like the first time tonight in a situation where his experience should have told him the exact opposite.
Left center, fairly deep. But Jay will run it down on the edge of the warning track for out number 2, Ross to third. Well, it's opening day, opening night, technically, so it gives us a chance to look back at some of our favorite opening day memories. And this is 1984. John Kruk pinch running, 86, forgive me, pinch running for Steve Garvey.
Inertia.
That was...
What happened, Kruk?
They said, look, here's the thing. Fernando Valenzuela has a great move. Okay. You're not getting picked off, but the second pitch you're going to hit and run if it's ball one. Ball one, I go, no swing, I'm out. And I thought I'd get...
Unless you're blaming the hitter.
Well, it's never my fault.
Yeah.
But I thought I would stop
should be the name of your
and try to get in a rundown because Steve Sachs, who had some issues throwing, and even though this is my first day in the big leagues, I was told that by everyone on the Padres team. So I was trying to get in a rundown, and I realized, wait a second, he's faster than me, and he caught me.
Mike Scioscia throwing you out, right?
Mike Scioscia, yeah.
Schill, just so you know, we got a card on you. You're on deck.
Oh, no.
With the blonde Bosworth haircut?
No, stop.
Oh, my God.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Hey, Adam Wainwright, even though he's not as sharp as normally you would see Adam Wainwright, when pitches need to be made, he's making them.
Cubs now 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. One-two to Fowler. Swing and a miss at a curveball, and Wainwright gets out of it again. End of 5 at Wrigley. Cardinals still up 3-0.
Thank you for being a sailor and my daddy. Thank you, Mom, for protecting my future.
Thank you for being my hero and my dad.
Military families are thankful for many things. The legacy of USAA Auto Insurance could be one of them. Our world-class service earned USAA the top spot in a study of the most recommended large companies in America. If you're current or former military or their family, see if you're eligible to get an auto insurance quote.
Firestone Transforce Tires. Built to handle whatever the job demands. Durable, dependable Firestone tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
At Maui Gym, we believe in the beauty of the world. That every color, every detail deserves to be seen clearly. With lenses that eliminate glare and make colors pop, Maui Gym sunglasses don't shield your view of the world. They bring it to life. Color, clarity, detail, Maui Gym.
Hey, what is this? What's going on?
Hal? Where have you been?
I was inside.
Yeah?
So long. There was nothing. No yard, no grill. It was just white and cold.
It was winter, buddy. Just winter.
Huh.
Somebody get this man a burger.
Winter's over, and new and improved Kingsford charcoal is now better than ever.
Opening night on ESPN is presented by Scott's. Get Scott's Turf Builder Lawn Food now and feed your lawn. Feed it. And in part by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families. And Kingsford Charcoal. Winter's over, and it's time to get out and grill. Hear that, Kruk? What? You may not feel it.
Not up here.
You may not believe it. But it says on the card that winter is over. We have some changes. Miguel Montero will stay in the game and catch. And the new pitcher, as we mentioned, a former Cardinal, Jason Mott. So Mott in the 7 spot, Montero in the 8 spot, as Colton Wong leads off. Excuse me, John Jay leads off. Wong the last out last inning. And a check swing bouncer foul up the third baseline.
Got the job Phil Koch did.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
2 strikeouts with an intentional walk in between. Jason Mott can still bring it with some velocity, 95 miles an hour.
Looks like he's made it all the way back. The other thing to me, right, more importantly, is he's commanding his fastball. I know it's only 3 pitches, but this is a guy who could misfire by 5 feet. And he's been good with all 3 of these fastballs coming into the game.
Tommy John surgery in May of 2013. Made his way back in the second half of last year. Jay skies one into right center. Fowler there. 1 down.
This replay is brought to you by Captain Morgan, proud partner of the Cubs.
Well, as we mentioned, this is a big-time construction project. They're doing the bleachers now, but this is really a 4-year plan, with the bleachers just being the first part of it. A hotel's eventually going to go up. The new pizza joints. Well, you need more Chicago-style pizza here. Future home of the restrooms. And you know what that means, Crucky? As the sign says below, you'll be relieved. They also have a sign that says, long live the troughs, on another one of these signs.
They have a future home of the elevator, which we could have used today.
You got your steps in today, my friend.
Yeah, there was a little Tour de France breathing going on.
Wider concourses, new food options, a hotel, a new home clubhouse, eventually a new visiting clubhouse.
About a decade.
You guys seem so skeptical of that.
That clubhouse down there is like a gulag. It is so bad.
What?
It's a, I forget it.
Gulag.
A prison.
Oh.
It says here that in phase 4 they're going to renovate the press box.
Yeah, that's after the visitors clubhouse, I'm going to guess.
It might be before. Why make them comfortable?
Yeah. Rizzo may have a play, and he does. Wainwright retired 2 down. Plaza outside with all kinds of shopping and restaurant options. Not a lot of available land around this ballpark, but they've obviously figured out a way to squeeze all of this stuff in. Schill and I were down at their ballpark in Mesa just in its 2nd year, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely as nice as a spring training facility can be. You know, Harry will always be present here at the ballpark.
Yep, that'll stay.
Matt Carpenter 2 for 3, couple of base hits, a run scored, and a run driven in. Cardinals with single runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 5th.
Hey, I wanted to take a quick second, Dan, say hi to my wife, Shonda, and my kids back home. Happy Easter. This is almost like playing again, being away for Easter almost every year. My daughter's getting ready to pitch for the Salve Regina Seahawks. And my son is at Endicott as a Gull.
You guys have been through a lot of opening days in various capacities, huh?
Yep. Part of the deal, though. That's what you sign up for.
That was fun. Opening day was always fun.
I know.
Because you actually believed you could win something, and then your team would lose 105 games, and you'd be like, what was I thinking?
Oh, some of those Phillies teams I was on, I wasn't so sure.
All but one.
Yeah, well,
one year turned out pretty well.
Well, it did.
Well, until we went to Canada.
Yeah.
Which happens.
But he got his ears on. But there was a lot of times you live spring training like, yeah, hope spring's eternal. Let's hope fall comes real quick.
Would you share that optimism of yours with your teammates?
Oh, you know how positive I am about everything. Yeah, so yeah. I made it a point to let everyone know that we're going to really stink this year.
So you'd get a pep talk from the manager, and then you'd gather the young players around and say, disregard everything he said?
Yeah.
He was the happy coach.
Yeah. Actually, I like to spread joy to everyone in the clubhouse.
It was infectious.
Yeah.
You're all bark, no bite. Everybody knows that. Fouled back by Carpenter.
I'm telling you, one of the greatest stories I've ever told about playing was walking in on him. We had a doubleheader, Saturday doubleheader. It was 190 degrees on the turf. He's eating hot dogs and mayonnaise in his underwear and a T-shirt, and he goes out and gets 5 hits.
That's what they asked me to do.
A natural.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wonder why I have a painting like I have of myself.
To his left, LaStella steadies himself and makes the play to end the inning. Mott gets the Cardinals 1-2-3. To the bottom of the 6th, Soler, Rizzo, Castro. Cubs trailing 3-0.
It's raining in the dark and the full moon spirits are giving you an afterglow. I'm not weakened by your tainted heart, and I don't hear sound from the street below.
Oh man, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You gotta do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim. State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight.
Can't stop me now.
Come on, Serena.
You don't want me. Can't mess with these.
Back to the top. Here we go.
You don't
2,
want
4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Whoa!
Sir.
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Great.
It's not Fast and Furious without a Dodge. Furious 7 in theaters April 3rd.
For fans of one last run to get the one spot left. For fans of the playoff push, this is your game. Celtics Pistons at 7, Suns Mavericks at 9:30, Wednesday on ESPN.
Now we're back at Wrigley. Bottom 6, opening night. Cardinals 3, Cubs nothing. As Jorge Soler takes inside ball 1 from Adam Wainwright. Soler has grounded out and struck out tonight. High, ball 3, and the bullpen is up for the Cardinals this half inning. Familiar duo. The right-hander was Seth Maness. The left-hander was Kevin Segras, trying to bounce back from a kind of a difficult and injury-plagued season a year ago. He was phenomenal in 2013. And Maness, what you love to have, a righty who comes in, keeps the ball down. He's a double play machine.
Yep, gets that sinker ball going, gets guys hit at offensive players hit on top of the ball and roll it over. Might need it. 3-1 here to Soler.
Fancy 88-mile-an-hour fastball, Shulman, a swing and a miss.
Look where it was. It's everything he's done tonight has been out of the middle of plate to get his results. For young pitchers, that's a huge lesson. You don't get good hitters out in the middle of plate, and he hasn't been there pretty much all night.
Nearing 90 pitches.
Got away with one right there.
But he throws enough pitches behind in counts, cutters, sliders, that you can't just say, okay, he's going to throw a fastball right here, 3-2, even to start off the inning.
And the other thing, Kruky, is every pitch he throws is potentially a strike.
Line to left field and caught by a sliding Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday, not known for his defense. He's had some struggles out there in left field, but this is a great play. And yeah, a very, very lucky play. I mean, not that he catches it. It looked like it hit his glove, hit his bare hand, and stayed above the grass. And there he finally got it secured. But if that ball gets by him, Soler on second base and keeps a double play out of order. Good play by Matt Holliday to get this inning. Adam Wainwright's first out of this inning.
Now Anthony Rizzo, a couple of strikeouts tonight. They play Rizzo to pull, not a full shift though. Peralta still well on the shortstop side of the bag. Wong backed up a bit, over to his left a bit, and Adams somewhat deep in guarding the line. Shifting becoming such a big thing in the last couple of years. Some teams doing it a lot more than other teams.
I think the preponderance of times that they're doing it has absolutely everything to do with the pitching staff. You have to have a pitching staff that can execute a game plan. Put a pitch, hey, this guy's going to hit the ball to this side of the infield if you make this pitch here. You got to have a pitcher that can make that pitch more times than not.
It is seen by sabermetricians and statisticians as one of the big reasons why offense is down. I mean, there are a number of reasons. Some people talk about the strike zone getting bigger at the bottom of the zone. Some people talk about
which it has.
Right.
Yep.
And pitchers throwing harder. The average fastball is higher now than it was some years ago. All the pitching changes, specializing lefties on lefties, righties on righties more than you used to see. And shifting as well, a number of reasons.
Well, Kruky, I have no idea how it happens, but I always looked at it as a pitcher as almost like a selfish thing. If they're shifting against you, take the single the other way.
You know, you get to the big league, you should be able to hit the ball off field. You know, whether you hit for power or not, that's one thing. But you know,
Ted Williams didn't do it, but he didn't.
He didn't have to, and he was one of the few that didn't have to. But you know, you hear guys complaining about it now. And, you know, if hit it the other way.
Well, David Ortiz has been griping about it since the day it started. Look at his numbers and imagine if he did hit the ball the other way, what they would be.
Especially leading off an inning.
Yeah.
You know, you shoot it the other way for at least a single. I mean, he could, the way they shift David, he could bunt for a double.
Well, Mike, I guess what I would say is early in the year, you do it 3 or 4 times the first week of the season, and that buys you 300 or 400 at bats of a normal infield.
Yeah, and then you hear, you know, well, you know, we're not going to change because at least we're taking the home run away from him if he goes the other way, you know, trying to bunt or whatever. But, you know, what if you hit 40 homers, it's a great year, right?
Hey.
What about the other 560 at bats?
Yeah, no, I agree. I love the fact that you could count on the guy to hit the ball to one side of the infield, because then you throw, hey, I'm not throwing my fastballs here. Tony Gwynn, he was so good. I was counting on a line drive to left. I'd throw him he wouldn't try and pull the ball. So I'd move everybody over, and it was almost like playing pickup baseball. Mm-hmm. Everybody was on the left side. I'd throw fastballs away. He'd hit line drives to left. Just had to hope it hit at somebody.
Would you have, with as much as shifting has increased now, would you be comfortable pitching with them playing 3 on the right side as often against the left-handed?
Yeah, I would. But I always, Tito and most of my managers later, I moved my defense. I used my second baseman. I would tell Dustin, you know, before a game, hey, I wanted you to do this, and if the center fielder's this, I want you to do that. You watch the pitches. So I had my shortstop and my second baseman moving my infielder and outfielders, or I moved them based on a certain pitch.
1-2 pitch to Castro. Ground ball up the middle and a base hit into center field. Fifth hit of the night, given up by Wainwright through 5 2/3.
We're going to watch some of these pitches now. For you young pitchers, I want you to watch how many times the round circle ends up in the middle or all inside the box. That's why he's so good. You do not, Pedro Martinez said it, and I couldn't figure out what it meant until I figured it out, which was you don't get good hitters out in the strike zone. Your stuff has to be good enough, and your command has to be good enough to get them to swing at pitches that look like strikes but aren't. And that's exactly what he's done tonight.
2-out base hit. Now Chris Coughlin, 1 for 2. Pulls it through. The next pitch will be his 100th.
And that was the reason why in spring training I always wanted to go over 100 pitches once. Just, they can't wait, and not in a bad way, but 100 is going to be somewhere near the cap for him. I think this will be his last hitter no matter what.
Yeah, he is getting up there in pitches. Yeah, you don't want to push him, especially with the the bullpen that the Cardinals do have. And like you said, the leadoff hitter's been on seemingly every inning against him.
He's pitched from the stretch a lot.
Well, that's a lot more than 100 pitches on you right there when you have that many leadoff hitters.
at right field. And caught. Middle of the summer, and Wainwright knows it. That ball's in the back of the bleachers, but not on a chilly April night here at Wrigley. Coughlin knows he hit it hard. Wainwright knows Mother Nature cooperated with him on that one.
Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash has hydrating micro moisture for healthier, stronger skin, no matter what you put it through. Care makes a man stronger.
When Ted's battery light lit up, his morning went from bad to worse. But after a pit stop at AutoZone, where they checked that for free, Ted was back to peak performance. It's called the Zone, and we'll help get you there. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Avengers, I'm gonna show you the end of the world. Boom. On May 1st.
Ultron's calling us out. What are you gonna do?
Something dramatic, I hope. Let's go get in the fight.
A new age begins.
When the dust settles, the only thing living in this world will be me.
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
People that would do anything for golf deserve a store that would do anything for golfers. Visit Golfsmith for the largest selection and guaranteed lowest prices. Golfsmith, anything for golf.
Firestone Transforce Tires. Built to handle whatever the job demands. Durable, dependable Firestone tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
So I got on the plane and thought,
yeah, empty seat next to me.
And then I saw him slowly coming down the aisle.
One of those guys who just can't stop talking.
I was downloading a movie.
I was trying to download a movie.
I have Verizon.
I don't. I get that little spinning wheel. Download didn't finish.
I finished the download, headphones on, and I'm safe.
I didn't finish in time. So many stories.
Join us and save without settling. Verizon.
And we are back here at Wrigley Field. A job well done by Adam Wainwright, says Yadier Molina. 6 shutout innings for the big right-hander. A 3-0 lead for the Cardinals. Got a little help from the cold and the wind as the Coughlin fly ball stayed in the park. New pitcher for the Cubs is right-hander Neil Ramirez. Ramirez last year had an ERA of 1.44 in 43 2/3 innings, and he struck out 53 batters, about 11 batters per 9 innings pitched. On an opening day roster for the first time in his career. Jason Hayward hits it hard, but right at Rizzo for out number 1. Let's take a look now at our Go Yard update, brought to you by Scott's, and this is another chance to go back in time, another opening day memory. This is Curt Schilling's first opening day start, 1994, with the Phillies.
Ouch.
Unfortunately for Schill, at Mile High Stadium, Ellis Burks and the big cat Andres Galarraga taking you yard, but never mind the ERA show. You got the W.
Yes,
you got the W. No, you got a no decision. The team got the W.
We won that game.
Yeah, we had to score a bundle.
It was 12-6.
Well, that happened a lot, actually, scoring a bundle.
Man. There we go again. See, picking up these guys.
That was at the old Mile High.
Yeah.
Which
that place was a
that
joke.
ball would carry, huh?
Oh my gosh.
So it was the first opening day start. A little.
Oh, I was terrified.
Jitters, yeah?
I mean, I was a younger player on the team with guys like this.
Oh yeah.
They hated younger players, so it was a bit of a challenge.
Especially Bosworth when he showed up.
Well, and I was such a quiet kid. I didn't talk much.
Seriously?
You fell for that. You fell for that.
Well, I thought as a kid, maybe.
Nope.
All right. So he's always been like this.
Yeah.
All right. God bless you, Kruk.
I know.
And that's the thing, though. You got to love it because he's consistent.
Yep. That's all about consistency. Ask my wife. It's consistent. Not pleasurable, but consistent. I remember that lineup. They had Bichette and Castilla and Burks and Galarraga. Ugh.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. Oof. The Blake Street Bombers, I think they were called.
Yeah. After the holiday strikeout, here's Peralta now 0 for 3, and he'll chase down and away. Way outside, a ball and a strike. One. Swung on and missed, 1-2. There's been some good work out of the Cub bullpen so far. Phil Koch came on, got a couple of strikeouts. Jason Mata 1, 2, 3, 6. And now Neil Ramirez looking for the same thing in the 7th. Up the middle, diving stop LaStella, but the throw will pull Rizzo off the bag. It'll be an infield hit for Peralta.
Play by Tommy LaStella right there, just getting to that ball. Ball's directly up the middle. Yeah, he was shading that way, but you know, once you dive for that ball, your momentum, even though you're on your knees, it's still getting you. So yeah, his momentum still seems leaning toward left field. That is way too far to throw it on your knees like that to get any velocity or accuracy on it.
So here's Matt Adams, 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. 3-0 Cardinals, top of the 7th. And ball 1.
You mentioned about this kid's numbers, strikeout numbers. I think of all the things in the last 5 or 6 years that have changed, the power arms in the bullpens around the big leagues has been one of the most dramatic. Everybody's a swinging this pitcher almost.
Popped up. Castro back underneath this one, and the inning is over. Well, the Cubs are dedicating this season to Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. His sons, Jerry and Joey Banks, are here to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at Wrigley.
Are you ready? Let me hear ya! A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root. You root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some rest for Ernie.
Nobody puts your old 401k in the corner. Roll it over into a TD Ameritrade IRA with lots of investment choices. TD Ameritrade, you got this. TD Ameritrade has straightforward pricing with no hidden charges. Because the best things in life aren't fees. TD Ameritrade, you got this.
Which car company is the first and only to offer built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi in cars, trucks, and crossovers? Ranking from top to bottom.
I'm going to say Mercedes is the innovator.
BMW just because they're pricey.
The final answer? Chevy.
This model has the Wi-Fi in it?
Yep.
That's the dream, to have Wi-Fi in the car.
Get cash back for 15% of the MSRP on select 2015 models. That's almost $3,700 on this Chevy Malibu. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Being a sailor and my daddy. Thank you, Mom, for protecting my future.
Thank you for being my hero and my dad.
Military families are thankful for many things.
the legacy of USAA Auto Insurance could be one of them. Our world-class service earned USAA the top spot in a study of the most recommended large companies in America. If you're current or former military or their family, see if you're eligible to get an auto insurance quote.
Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips are not your mom's chicken strips.
What about my mom?
I like these chicken strips.
Well, we'll see how this goes. Mom, you have an admirer. She is interested?
Okay. Chicken with a kick. Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you son it.
Bottom of the 7th inning here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Opening night baseball on ESPN with John Kruk, Curt Schilling, Buster Olney. I'm Dan Shulman. A 3-0 lead for the Cardinals over the Cubs. And a new pitcher for St. Louis. Right-hander Carlos Martinez is into the game. He actually won the 5th starter's job in spring training, but with some off days early, Mike Matheny will get him a little work here tonight in relief of Adam Wainwright. First pitch swinging Mike Old, ground ball. And feed to first. One pitch, one out for Martinez, who was the closest friend on the Cardinals of the late Oscar Taveras, the young outfield prospect who was killed in a car accident on the 26th of October last year. And Martinez, guys, as you know, has changed his number to 18, the number that Taveras was wearing, and all of the Cardinals are wearing patches with Oscar Taveras' initials on the left sleeve. Terrible loss for the Cardinal organization, and there was a moment of silence before the game in memory of Oscar Taveras, and then the Cubs did a similar thing for the late great Ernie Banks, their Hall of Famer, who has been honored and will be honored in so many ways this year by the Cubs. Here's Arismendi Alcantara to bat in the pitcher spot. Alcantara, utility player for the Cubs, a switch hitter. Best position is second base, but he can play short. Has started playing some outfield as well.
I love the arm, but since the first day I saw him, watch this front leg. Right there. Watch when he goes down and finishes. You should see something like this, and you're going to see that. And that, I think that's going to be one of the things that's going to keep him from commanding the baseball consistently, especially as a starter, is that stiff front leg. He has a great arm. He throws hard, but it's almost impossible to command a baseball in the small amount you need to when you go with that stiff front leg.
Is that something you can change?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just got to get him to be softer on the front. Jason Mott's another one who, and I talked to him when we were up there, and it's one of those, you got to get him to dial back to 85, 90% in a sense.
Comparisons have been drawn between Carlos Martinez and Pedro Martinez. He has been known in some circles as Little Pedro. Do you see the similarity?
No. I mean, potentially yes, but you're going to see this kid's velocity, if he doesn't get softer on his front side, go down. It's going to, most guys that do that see their velocity go sooner rather than later, and that's why, I love his stuff, his pure stuff, but the consistency is going to be the big thing for me.
What is it about the stiff front leg that causes problems?
It's not, when you finish, you can't finish. You can't finish, and what you actually are doing is you're decelerating your arm before you let go of the baseball. Think about throwing darts. You're throwing darts with a short arm, or you're throwing darts with a long finish. And if you watch his arm, see, he'll have a little bend when he gets down. He's landed, but see how quickly he's going straight like that. And most guys, the other big thing for me is, you know, Dan, we talked about that doorway, finishing inside the doorway. You want all your energy and everything to happen this way. Right. And see how his is going this way. What that does is it doesn't allow you to stay in the strike zone. You're pushing energy left and right.
A one-out walk. Here's Miguel Montero. How come you didn't get any toys, Kruk? How come only Curt has toys?
You can use my toy.
Not till he's
well,
healthy.
actually, you're drawing arms. Yeah, you're on the DL.
And I can't reach around him.
I'm not that big.
You've gotten bigger.
Well, you got short arms.
I have really short arms.
Is that something, Schill, that a young pitcher, is he self-aware? Are young pitchers self-aware to know what the problem is when they've got a situation
I don't know.
Or?
I don't know. But it should be. The challenge is that it's hard to get a guy to dial back at this level.
Right. Your MO is if it doesn't work, throw harder, right?
Well, that's absolutely. That's the answer to every problem you have as a young pitcher is just throw harder, he'll fix it. Because you're coming up thinking, well, no one's ever seen a fastball like mine before, and then Harold Baines steps in the box and makes sure you don't ever see that again.
1-1. And through Molina to the backstop. Alcantara to second.
Is it a full moon tonight?
Yes.
That has to be, because that
doesn't happen, yeah. Cross-up, maybe?
Yeah,
Headed out to the mound,
absolutely
right?
has to be a cross-up.
Well, why would there be a cross-up with a runner on first? Unless you're given multiple signs, it doesn't make sense. And yeah, but you talk about Carlos. He just missed it. But you talk about Martinez. The thing with Martinez is he has high velocity, but a lot of movement on his pitches too.
Well, you saw that average fastball last year at 96. You
Yeah.
see what he's throwing right now. He's 92 to 93. Can reach up top, but that's not the average of 96. And then one of the reasons I think is because of the hard finish. That's
Full foul, 2-2.
Great movement there. It's such good movement.
Let's go down to Buster Olney.
Dan, you mentioned his friendship with Oscar Taveras. When you talk to other Cardinals, they mentioned that in the past, sometimes Martinez would lose his composure on the mound. They have noticed this spring that he just seems to have a different personality. He seems much more circumspect, and some of them told me they think he was really affected personally by what happened last fall.
It happened shortly after the Cardinals had been eliminated from the playoffs in late October. Martinez went to camp hoping to win the 5th starter's job, and it was really a 3-horse race. Marco Gonzalez, a left-hander who pitched very well out of the bullpen for the Cardinals in the playoffs last year, and Jaime Garcia, who has battled about 3 years worth of shoulder trouble, various arm problems, and Garcia was doing well, then came up with some shoulder soreness. So Garcia is on the DL right now, and Gonzalez is in the minors right now, and Martinez won the job as he strikes out Montero for the 2nd out. But still great depth if Garcia can get healthy. Gonzalez has talent. Martinez is loaded with talent, and those are like the 5, 6, 7 starters for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And here's the thing with Carlos Martinez right there is Montero knows he's throwing a fastball, but look at the location, not only location but the movement on that pitch, and it looked like it was a changeup.
Yeah, filthy, with the same movement as his fastball. But yet, everybody says every year it seems like you hear, well, they've got more than enough pitching, or they have too much pitching. Nobody ever has too much pitching.
No such thing as too much pitching. But they've got a lot of pitching.
They have a lot of good young pitching.
A big key for them, and so far so good, is Michael Wacha healthy again. It looks like he is.
It looks like he's throwing well. And yeah, then when that's your 4 or 5 guy, you're looking at just maybe just a little bit of a notch below the Washington Nationals rotation.
John Lackey, Lance Lynn, the other starters in the rotation.
Yeah, Lance Lynn, all he does is win.
Yeah.
But, well, I don't know why.
48 wins the last 3 years. He had a 2.74 ERA last year.
Yeah. All he does is win games. Gets no recognition, does he?
Little slider down and in there, and it's 2-2 the count on LaStella.
There's a big talk about the would John Lackey be a distraction because of the money, the contract, $500 grand or whatever. Talked to him this spring, he laughed about it.
Yeah, for those who don't know, a clause in his contract when he was with the Red Sox that said if he ever had an elbow injury, there would be an extra year added on at the end of the contract for the major league minimum, $500,000 at the time. And that happened. He missed a year Tommy John surgery, so
never complained.
That's in effect right now. So the Cardinals are paying him the minimum.
Yeah, he never complained, and he was actually laughing about it this spring with me.
Ball to short, low throw. Adams has it, and the inning is over. Another man left on. Cubs are 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
Nice morning, Scott.
Hi. At a morning of tiny voices crying out, feed us.
I don't understand.
Your grass, man. It's a living, breathing thing. It's hungry, and you've got to feed it with Scott's Turf Builder. Attaboy, Mikey. 2 feedings now in the springtime. Strengthens and helps protect your lawn from future problems. Get Scott's Turf Builder lawn food. It's guaranteed. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
And to keep crabgrass away all season long, get Scott's Turf Builder with Halt's Crabgrass Preventer.
1800.
We're back. I am Hans. And I am Franz, and this is our State Farm agent, Chads, and we just want to bomb you up.
Chads, what is it that you do? Well, I save people money with the
Discount double check, discount double check.
Just to double check, what exactly do you do again?
Yeah, the savings part.
Like I said before, with the
discount double check, discount double check.
Well, that's not exactly how this is exactly how we do it. Hit it, Jürgen. My packs are dancing with joy from all the savings.
Pump up your savings with a discount double check. Get to a better state. State Farm.
Lowe's presents How to Accidentally Invent a New Word.
This new living room is so you. It's so sophisticated. Exactly. Sophisticated.
Now get 20% off all Bali blinds and shades at Lowe's.
Our new app will revolutionize car service and repair.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Is that anything like Cars.com's new feature called Service and Repair?
No, because with ours, you'll know the cost of labor and parts in your area. Anyone else?
Like Cars.com?
So you'll never pay more than you should.
Like Cars.com.
Excuse me 1 second.
She's totally right. I messed up. I'm sorry.
Cancel the IPO?
Research, price, find. Now get the right service without all the drama. Cars.com. All drive. No drama.
Opening night on ESPN is presented by Scott's. Get Scott's Turf Builder Lawn Food now and feed your lawn. Feed it. And in part by Cars.com. All drive, no drama. And Lowe's. Lowe's never stops improving. New pitcher for the Cubs. Pedro Strop is into the game. First pitch swinging a foul off by Yadier Molina. Strop last year 2-4 with a 2.21 ERA and 65 appearances with the Cubs. Just 40 hits allowed in 61 innings. And at second base, Arismendi Alcantara stays in the game after pinch hitting last inning.
Pedro Strop looks like he sets up to be Joe Maddon's 8th inning guy. You can see why they like it. The power, the movement, the aggressiveness that he goes after hitters.
It's the nasty slider, misses outside. Cardinals got a run in the first, run in the second, a run in the fifth. Cubs have had all kinds of chances and have not been able to take advantage of them. And there has been some sloppiness from the Cubs in this game as well on a couple of occasions. A little bit late on the fastball. Molina has struck out, walked, and then been intentionally walked. Got him. Well, big news just before the game today. How often do you see a trade of this magnitude on opening day? The Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres making a trade. Man, the Padres are serious. They pick up Craig Kimbrel, arguably the greatest closer in the game today, and the former B.J. Upton, Melvin Upton Jr., who is reunited with his brother Justin in San Diego. Carlos Quentin, Cameron Maybin, a couple of outfielders. The Padres had a lot of outfielders. and a young pitching prospect, Matt Whistler, going to Atlanta. So now Joaquin Benoit slides into the 8th inning role, and Craig Kimbrel becomes the closer for the San Diego Padres. How good do you guys think the Padres are going to be this year?
Well, if they catch the ball, they're going to be really good. I still think they have some defensive deficiencies, but can that pitching staff make up for it? They're going to be strong with the starting pitching. Now they have the best closer.
What they've done is they've shortened the game. The Royals showed you last year when you can turn a 9-inning game into a 6-inning game. It gives you a huge advantage. Your offense doesn't have to be that good. Now their offense could be very explosive if those guys are all healthy and good, but you've got to. They got Kimbrel in the sense for me to get value. So Atlanta dealt Kimbrel so they could get value out of the deal, because they took all of Upton's contract, which I think the only way you could have done that is to give them no players or another player in prospects.
John Jay with a base hit on a sinking liner to right field. Digging hard for second, and he'll be in there as the ball bounces away from Soler. Second hit of the night for Jay. Let's go down to Buster. Buster, what's your take on the deal?
Well, after emailing and texting a number of executives, what I'm getting a lot back from them is they love the value of the deal for the Braves. I had some executives tell me that they don't think that the Padres got enough in return for all the money they're taking on in this deal, but Kruk and Schill, I think this is a case where maybe the executives who are looking at value are going to feel differently than the players on the field.
Here comes Mark Reynolds to bat. Batting for Carlos Martinez. This sure makes the National League West pretty interesting. I mean, you got the highest payroll in baseball in the Dodgers, the defending World Series champions in the Giants, and now kind of the new kids on the block in the Padres. With all of the moves that they have made, what was it, something like 29 players around the winter meetings, 29 players coming or going in just a few days. New GM A.J. Preller is not shy.
No, and that's what you talk about, going in and making a big shakeup. But yeah, I know they're getting a new TV deal, but where's all that money coming from now? I mean, I know the new TV deal is going to help get what they're getting next year, but you know, if you're a fan of the Padres, you think, wait a second, man, why didn't you spend some of that a few years ago?
Well, you were a Padre. I mean, what does it mean in that city?
Oh, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge to be competitive, and you know, the fans will get behind it once you're competitive. You know, just getting Matt Kemp, you know, even though, you know, last year I thought he had a great year, but you know, years prior with the injuries and everything, you know, he wasn't the player he was. And Justin Upton to get there, and
James Shields.
Now then it opens it up to sign James Shields. And, you know, now you make this trade. I mean, you talk about how ecstatic the Padres fans were. And now you get the best closer in the game. You know, they think they can win it.
This is not the time you're expecting a trade of this magnitude. You're thinking, all right, it's mid-February. My team is starting spring training. This is the team they're going to go into the season with. I mean, this came out of the blue.
Yeah, you had both GMs, both front offices doing the thing they said they were going to do, which was Atlanta getting younger and getting younger pitching, and San Diego was going for it.
But how do you get younger? Kimbrel's what, 25, 26?
A strikeout to end the inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Stroke. Cubs coming up, bottom of the 8th, top of the order due up, with the home team trailing 3-0.
Only one place takes you inside golf's most prestigious event. The Masters Mosaic from DirecTV. Watch 6 screens of enhanced coverage on one channel, including 2 featured groups and every swing at Amen Corner, all in crystal clear HD. Plus our interactive leaderboard, expanded player stats, and more. The only place to experience a major like this is DirecTV. The Masters Mosaic begins April 9th, starting at channel 701.
After I played FanDuel the first time, I was hooked.
These one-day fantasy baseball leagues at FanDuel.com are the hottest thing in fantasy baseball.
With FanDuel, there's no season-long commitment.
FanDuel lets you play in one-day fantasy baseball leagues for real money.
Assembling the ideal team on FanDuel was a blast.
Try FanDuel today, and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200.
On FanDuel, I've won over $62,000.
Go to FanDuel.com, click on the microphone to get a bonus of up to $200. Enter promo code RBI6. That's promo code RBI6.
When Martin Cooper invented the mobile phone in 1973,
hello? Yeah, this is Marty. Guess what we did?
Connectivity took a mighty leap forward. Staying connected is also the Mazda way. That's why the 2015 Mazda 3 uses cutting-edge technology.
Hey.
Hi. Headed home?
On my way.
To keep you seamlessly connected to the world around you and the road beneath you. This is the 2015 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
Nope. Nah. Can't even do it. Sorry, girl. Dang, Frenchie. Como allez-vous? Let me holler at you. Gotta be on the countryside in baguettes.
There's just no stopping true love. Chicken fries are back at Burger King.
The Masters, Thursday and Friday at 3 on ESPN.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
53, Jordan Walden. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more every night on every device. Visit MLB.TV for details. The best seats at every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today. Bottom 8, 3-0 Cardinals. New pitcher Jordan Walden, who came with Jason Hayward from Atlanta in the trade that saw Shelby Miller and a young pitcher Terrell Jenkins go the other way. Walden figuring to be the primary setup man for Mike Matheny this year. And Schill, I'd love you to break down this what we got going on here on the mound.
I don't remember Kevin Gregg? Yeah, there's a little similarity. I don't know what the heck's going on with that front leg, but it's again, a hop. Well, but you know what? At the end of the day, there's no one way to do this. And the thing you care about is where he's at when he lets go of the baseball.
He's pretty close to you when he lets go of the baseball with his size and the hop.
Watch where the front foot lands. That's the most important thing. Got a toe. See how that is that? Well, it's tough. That's troublesome, I think, for him. Pedro Strop had it too. You saw that sling. Oh, I think I just blew out watching that one.
He's had a lot of success though.
Yeah,
closer 1 year for the Angels,
and
32 saves.
Thing. But that's I think one of Theo's theories was you could. Relievers, you can build a bullpen every year. You can have an empty bullpen and build one every year. Joe Maddon did it in Tampa. And I think it's because very few relievers can you count on year to year. To me, that's what made Rivera and Hoffman, and what makes Kimbrel so good is you know what you're going to get. A lot of other guys coming out of the pen, you don't know. They can have a 5 1 year and a 1 the next.
Well, how many years did the Cardinals have a different closer? Remember, Adam Wainwright, as a rookie, was forced into the closer's job back in 2006. Fowler called out on strikes.
It's got to. Does that affect you as a hitter? That funky delivery?
Well, you would hope you weren't looking at his feet when he's getting ready to deliver a ball at 95 miles an hour, but you don't see guys jumping at you. Hear the expression, oh, he's really jumping at the hitter, but I mean, he literally jumps at the hitter.
There's Jorge Soler 0 for 3. Is what it looks like to Soler.
I mean, if he was throwing 85, you wouldn't mind it, but 95 could be deceiving. He was a deceptive hard thrower. Oh.
You just seem to a hitter like it would be a distraction. You try to ignore it, but how do you ignore it?
Well, you're not looking anywhere near his feet anyway.
No. Trying to look at the logo on the hat.
Is that what you're? I mean, you're looking at that throwing slot?
Just your eyes to the release point.
Bouncer to first, and quickly 2 down.
You're trying to pick up the throwing slot. Is that what? I mean, like so a guy that throws down under.
Wow. then you were guessing. I mean, but you watch the delivery out. He does have a really long slide. You look at the jump.
Right. You can see it in the back foot. Watch his back foot. Most guys will turn here. Watch his foot. His back foot, he is jumping. His back foot's coming off the ground.
Yeah. It's like a softball pitcher.
No, hey, it's funky looking.
Anytime we get softball in the telecast, we got to take advantage.
You've had a good
That's
night.
right.
That's but that's what it looks like. I mean, you watch some of the great pitchers of, Monica Abbott, Michelle Smith, left-handed pitchers that can fire. They explode with their legs.
He's got silly movement too. That's almost like a left-handed slider. It looks like such a heavy sinker.
So their bullpen, we saw Segrist and Manus up earlier. Segrist the left-hander, Manus the right-hander. Walden is the setup guy. Randy Choate, left-handed specialist. Trevor Rosenthal, the closer.
Yeah, he comes in at the end zone about 144.
Yeah, we might see him in the ninth inning. A little high with the base runners last year, though. The walks were up for him. A lot of leadoff men on. It's been a wide zone all night.
Yeah, why would you think in the eighth it's going to change?
Oh, I love that pitch. The challenge, you can't hit that pitch. That ball's off the plate and running away. You can't hit it.
You can hit it, but a night like this, it's going to hurt.
And it's not going to go very far.
Nah, your fingers might go farther than the ball.
It is a wee bit chilly here in Chicago.
That hat was blue. It said pink, but it was blue, I swear.
Ball 4. Starlin Castro, the batter, is 1 for 3. Just 1 3-up, 3-down inning for the Cubs tonight. That was in the 4th inning. And now the aforementioned Trevor Rosenthal has just started throwing in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Little low ball 1.
Well, I'm glad I don't play Scrabble against you two.
I didn't know you played Scrabble.
I don't.
Well, Gulag is the winner. I mean, he wins. Yeah. How about that? A little Latin for him. Uncle, you done? You're out?
Yeah. Tell you what, Starlin Castro, even though he got the 1 hit, he's hit the ball hard. His first at bat, he hit a hard ground ball back at Wainwright. There's one that you don't get any more points for how far you hit it. It's still the same amount of runs, but he was trying to make it 3-2, which with 2 outs, take a shot.
Took another, fouled it off 1 and 2. On a night like this, as Chris Coughlin learned a couple of innings ago, it is hard to hit the ball out of this ballpark on a cold night with the flags blowing in. Chased a pitch in the dirt, and the inning is over. Another man left on by the Cubs. 8 complete at Wrigley. Still Cardinals 3, Cubs nothing.
Celtics Pistons at 7, Suns Mavericks at 9:30, Wednesday on ESPN.
Firestone Transforce Tires. Built to handle whatever the job demands. Durable, dependable Firestone tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Introducing Wrangler Advanced Comfort Jeans.
We make Wrangler Advanced Comfort with 4-way flex technology. And the reinforced fibers are 20% stronger than traditional denim.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort Jeans. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
The switch to T-Mobile is on. Even Verizon customers are seeing the light. T-Mobile has America's fastest 4G LTE network. From the Bay Area to the Big Apple. And more data capacity per customer. Need one more reason? We'll even buy out your contract. Ready? set, switch to the Data Strong Network.
Take a weekend getaway with Hilton and be deliciously out of your comfort zone. Be there for once in a lifetime. Or be the VP of Splash. Hilton. 12 distinct brands in over 2,000 cities. Book now.
Schick Extreme 3. 3 flexible blades that adapt to any contour for extreme comfort. Schick Extreme 3. Try Extreme 3 Ultimate. More glide, better comfort for your skin.
At Maui Gym, we believe in the beauty of the world. That every color, every detail deserves to be seen clearly. With lenses that eliminate glare and make colors pop, Maui Gym sunglasses don't shield your view of the world. They bring it to life. Color, clarity, detail, Maui Gym.